Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel will be basically focusing on disasters that have happened around the world. I'm pretty new to this, so just bear with me the way I pronounce my words. I'd be grateful if you could do that. Just to let you know, I'm not AI. This is not an AI voice. I might have a bit of a strange accent, but just to let you know, I am a real person. So hopefully you enjoy the next story coming up and many more to follow. The Moor explosion. It's 1916, in the middle of the First World War. Britain depends heavily on its munitions factories, and the town of Moor near Bradford is home to one of the busiest. Here, hundreds of workers produce dangerous chemicals and fill shells destined for the battlefields. The site looks ordinary from the outside, but every person who passes through its gates knows the risks that come with the job. The Moor Works factory stretches across several acres with tall chimneys, long sheds and a maze of railway siding. Within its walls are barrels of picric acid, a powerful and unstable explosive. Beside them are warehouses stacked with shells, chemicals and fuels. The factory provides steady wages and pride for the town, yet every shift carries a hidden fear that one accident could set off a disaster. Men and women move carefully through the workshops. They measure powders, stir vats of acid and pack casings with steady hands. There's no room for mistakes. The work is repetitive, precise and often exhausting. The air is heavy with chemical fumes and safety relies on everyone following strict routines. Even so, the workers keep going, knowing their efforts support the soldiers at the front. Picric acid is highly volatile. It must be kept dry, cool and handled with extreme care. Nearby wooden barrels and crates fill the storerooms, some stacked higher than a man's head. Any spark, sudden knock or rise in temperature could be enough to ignite them. The site is a giant powdered keg, one that nobody wants to think too closely about. On the morning of August the 21st, 1916, the factory hums with activity. The day begins like countless others. Steam hisses from pipes, wagons rattle across the yard, and workers chat quietly as they settle into their tasks. Despite the danger, there is routine, and with routine comes a sense of calm. To the people inside, it feels like just another working day. But then, in one of the storage sheds, a thin wisp of smoke curls upward. At first, it is barely noticed, but soon it grows darker and thicker. A small fire has started among the barrels. Supervisors shout, workers rush to grab buckets and sand, and the alarm is raised.
Fire!
Still there is hope. Fires have been put out before, and perhaps this one can be done too. The factory bell clangs urgently. Word spreads quickly, and the town's fire brigade is called to the scene. Men with hoses and ladders hurry through the gates, trying to contain the flames. Workers form lines with pails of water, their faces tense with worry. All efforts are focused on one thing: stop the fire before it reaches the explosives. Suddenly, a deafening roar splits the air. The first explosion rips through the building, tearing off its roof and hurling debris in all directions. The windows shatter for streets around, and people are thrown to the ground by the shockwave. In seconds, the fire has spread. The panic erupts. Those who can still stand scramble to escape in the inferno. The first blast sets off others. Flames leap from shed to shed, igniting barrels and shells in rapid succession. A chain of reaction begins. Explosions of every size rumble across the works. Smoke towers into the sky as shrapnel and burning timber rain down. It seems as though the entire factory has become one giant bomb. The firefighters press on, determined to control the blaze, but they are met with another massive explosion. Many are struck down instantly, their bravery costing them their lives. Others are left injured, staggering through the smoke and flames. The factory yard becomes a battlefield of fire, collapsing walls and desperate cries, yet still rescuers risk everything to save those trapped inside. The thunder of the explosions carries for miles. In Bradford, houses shake and glass shatters in thousands of windows. Trains halt on their tracks and people rush from shops and homes, staring at the huge plume of smoke rising from Moor. At first, many think it's an enemy air raid, but soon word spreads it is the factory itself that has blown apart. Doctors and nurses and volunteers rush to the scene. Makeshift aid stations are set up in schools, halls and nearby houses. The injured are carried in on carts and stretchers, their clothes burned, their faces blackened with soot. Despite limited supplies, medics work tirelessly bandaging wounds, treating burns and confronting the shocked. Ordinary townsfolk join in, bringing water, blankets and whatever can help they can offer. By nightfall, the worst of the fire has burned itself out. 40 people had perished in this massive explosion and fires, including site workers, railway men and 6 firemen. The landscape is scarred and the community is left in mourning. For those who survive, life will never return to what it was before that day. Questions are asked about how so many explosive material was stored together and whether the fire could have been stopped earlier. From the tragedy come strict rules, greater spacing between stores, clearer safety drills and improved training for workers and brigades. The lessons are harsh, but they help shape safer practices in other factories across Britain. A century later, in 2016, the community still remembers. The Moor History Group unveils a memorial listing the names of those who died in the explosion. Families, officials and local people gathered to lay wreaths and pay tribute. Through time has passed, the courage of the workers, the firefighters and the townsfolk is never forgotten. The story of Moor lives on, honoured by each generation.